What's up everyone, Nameco here, Fantasy Smack Talk, talking off-season moves, and I'm talking about the Washington Redskins' newest receiver, and that is Terrelle Pryor, that went from the Browns, signed with the Redskins, and boy did they need him. So let's talk about the fantasy impact. So in terms of Pryor, why I say the Redskins need him, they lost Deshaun Jackson, they lost Pierre Garçon. Jackson was the Bucks, Garçon to the Niners. That clearly left a hole. Sure, they got Reed there, sure, they got Crowder, but they needed that guy that's going to stretch the field a little bit. They needed a solid receiver, and they went out and got Pryor, and I actually was surprised that Pryor wasn't getting much bigger deals on the market because they got him at a reasonable price. It's a one-year quick deal, and you know, it's a prove-yourself deal, right? He had a great year last year. 77 catches, 1,000 yards, only 4 touchdowns. But the thing is, the knock on him is who else did the Browns have? But who else did the Browns have? Who did they have him throwing the ball? And for the eye test alone, I mean, he is a stud athlete. I know he played QB in college. Forget about that and forget about the Oakland experiment. Just remember what he did last year and what he looked like. He can stretch the field. He can go up and get the ball, so I do like him. So let's talk about the other guys first before I get into his specific value. Cousins, quarterback, Redskins. Obviously, I just said those receivers are gone. He had a great fantasy year. What does this mean for him? I think he puts up very similar numbers. True, Djax, Garçon leaving hurts, but I think if Reed stays healthy, that's going to help him. Of course, Crowder can pick it up this year, and I think Pryor is a decent Garçon replacement. I think Garçon might be a little bit better all-around receiver. Fantasy purposes, though, for what Pryor can bring with the deep ball, I think he is interesting for Cousins, and Cousins, again, he's playing on that tag, so he's going to be ready to go. He knows he's playing for the big contract again, so I think Cousins will be just fine this year. I think he will be a top 10 quarterback. Then the other guy I want to talk about here is Reed. How much does his value get hurt? None at all, because Djax and Garçon is gone. So Reed, as long as he's healthy, he is a top 3 tight end. Crowder's interesting, right? He looked great last year. He almost had 70 catches. He had almost 900 yards. He had, I think it's like 7 touchdowns. So, you know, in terms of Crowder's value, can he do much better? I don't see him doing much more than 7 touchdowns, but could I see him bump up to 90 catches even? I know that sounds insane, but he's that type of receiver. And again, I think actually with Djax and Garçon gone, everyone's value is going to get elevated, so I think Crowder is going to be a big winner here. Now, in terms of Pryor himself, where's he going in draft? He's about the 30th wide receiver off the board, so in a 10-team league, a wide receiver 3. I think that's about where he should be. I think he is a solid wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 2 upside. For my personal rankings, and this is a very quick glance because we're early in the season, I'm looking at him about 25, 26, so a little bit ahead of where he's currently going in drafts in terms of receivers off the boards. But again, a lot of research has to go into that. If you got a player you want to know about, like Marshawn Lynch, is he going to go to the Raiders? Are you going to draft him in the 2nd round? Are you going to take him in the 1st round? The answer is no to that, but I can do a video on that if you want. Have a good day, everyone.